You know that moment you finally let something go? Maybe it's the resentment you've been carrying against someone who hurt you. Maybe it's the guilt you've been holding over yourself for years. You finally set it down and then it's quiet. And in the quiet, you realize something. Forgiveness wasn't the finish line, it was just the starting point. Forgiveness is like putting down a heavy suitcase you've been dragging through the airport of your life. But freedom is when you stop circling the terminal, waiting for the flight that isn't coming, and actually walk out into the world hands free, heart light. Today, we're going to talk about what happens after forgiveness, how you take the brave act of letting go and turn it into a lifestyle of living free. Because letting it go is a decision. I'm going to walk you through 4 parts of this journey, and each one builds on the last. We'll release the leftover weight, create the closure you've been waiting for, stop reopening wounds, and guard your peace like it's the most precious thing you own, because it is. And because I love you, I'm giving you a self-love 2-step per usual. You can use it every time you feel tempted to slip back into old pain. Let me pour into you real quick moment to light you up, and a closing love note so you can carry it with you long after you stop listening. You've been playing small long enough. It is time to speak life into your life. These aren't just your regular schmegular affirmations. They're your main character activations. Say it loud. I am the main character and I live it. Download your power affirmations in the show notes below. Hey friend, I've gotten such an amazing response from episode 225, Let It Go So You Can Grow, Self-Forgiveness and the Freedom to Move On. I was so excited to see your response that I had to come up in through here and talk to you about what's next. I love giving you self-love 2 steps because we often get caught up in wanting to know all the steps, but it's not about having every single step. It's about taking the next right aligned action for you. The 2 steps are meant to get you going or even inspire you if they're not feeling aligned. And then you create the next 2 steps. Forgiveness is a big topic, and while we often think it must be about forgiving someone else, it's also about forgiving yourself. Here's the thing: you can forgive someone and still be carrying heaviness from what happened. It's in the tension in your shoulders, the quickening of your heart, pulse racing when you hear their name, or a lump in your throat when a song, place, or thing brings it all back up. Whether it's yourself or others, forgiveness might have untied the rope, but the knots are still in your energy. And this is where intentional release comes in. If you've forgiven but still feel stuck, ask yourself, what am I holding on to? What thought, memory, or belief keeps following me around like an old ex you can't seem to swerve? Is this heaviness even mine or is it theirs? Do yourself a favor if you haven't already listened to it, go back and listen to episode 225 again and practice this release ritual. Write down every lingering thought, feeling, and story that still tugs at you, be it raw, messy, or unfiltered. Then rip it up, burn it safely, or let water carry it away. Tell your body and mind, we're not carrying this anymore. Because main character energy doesn't just let go of the plot twist, she rewrites the storyline entirely. I know it can be hard to be open to receive all of your heart's desires when you've got your hands clenched, holding on to unforgiveness. But it's okay to release the weight so you can make room for everything you say you want. Here's where it gets real, friend. Lean in as we explore the closure you've been waiting for. Whether it be a fun fact or hard truth, you might not ever get the genuine apology you really want. They may never say, I understand what I did. They may never sit across from you, look you in the eye, and give you the moment you've been replaying in your head for years. But closure, It's really not a gift they give you, it's a choice you give yourself. The moment you decide, I've heard enough, I've seen enough, I am enough. That's closure, babe. It's not about pretending it didn't happen. It's about deciding it happened and it's not going to run your life anymore. And I know this firsthand. I had to forgive myself for ending my first marriage. If you are a part of the newsletter, I talk about this in great detail. I go into the day we were literally at a marriage counseling session. And when the pastor asked if I thought this was going to work, my truth busted out before my ego ever could get to the door. And I said, no. Then the pastor looked at me and said, then there's nothing I can do for you. Friend, I carried that moment and the decision I eventually made to leave like a scarlet letter for years. It wasn't just the fact that I had to grieve the marriage, yes, but more than that, I grieve the dream of forever. The picture I thought my life would look like, the version of love I thought I had to hold on to just because I said I do. But here's what I learned. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let go of an old dream so you can build a new one. I had to give myself the closure that wasn't going to come from anyone else. And I really had to forgive myself not just for ending that marriage, but for stepping into the unknown to build a life that actually aligned with me. That's why I can say this with conviction. Closure is an act of self love. If you saying, I choose me, I trust me, I release the version of life I thought I had to settle for, and I'm creating something new. The beauty of giving yourself the closure you've been longing for is that you can give it to yourself in the exact way your heart needs to receive it. You don't have to sit in silent hope, wishing they'll say the right words or make the right moves to finally make it right. You don't have to keep carrying an empty space in your heart, waiting for something that may never come. Instead, you become the one who fills it. You offer yourself the words, the compassion, the permission that no one else has been able to give. You close the door on what was with love, with grace. And in doing so, you open a door that leads to infinite possibilities, to peace, to a future that's no longer defined by what happened, but by what you choose to create next. Place your hand over your heart as I say this affirmation over you. I choose this chapter with love for myself, not with permission from someone else. Confidence isn't a vibe, it's a decision. Let's build it. You become confident by embodying it right now. And I've got just a tool to help you do exactly that. The main character confidence checklist is your free glow up guide to help you walk in rooms more confidently, speak up louder, and show up like the star you are. It's simple, it's powerful, and it works because confidence isn't about faking it. It's about remembering who you are. Download the checklist now using the link in show notes, and baby, don't just check the boxes, own them. Okay, friend, are you feeling lighter? Do you feel like you've made some progress and even gained some resolve? You are feeling all good, like you done healed something profound. Okay. And then boom, trigger warning. Something happens and now you are picking at the scab. Now, let's be honest because we've all done it. You forgive, but then scroll their socials. You revisit old messages. You tell the same hurt filled story in all its painful glory one more time just to explain yourself and make sure the hurt you experienced is highlighted yet again, just in case somebody missed it. As if speaking it one more time will finally set you free. That's like ripping off a healing bandage to see if the cut's still bleeding. Here's the truth, my friend. Healing is like fresh skin, tender, new, easily damaged if you don't protect it. Every time you do, you re expose the wound and reopen what's trying to close. You invite fresh pain into a wound that's still healing, and that can slow down your own recovery. Now, it doesn't mean that you forget, not because you've erased it from your memory, pretend it never happened, or even approve of what happened, but because you've processed it enough that it no longer stabs you at your spirit or drags you back into the pain when it first comes up, you can hold it without it holding you hostage. The sting is gone. The story is still there, but it's not stealing your peace anymore. And that's why the main character move, protect your healing, is so important. That might mean blocking, unfollowing, or even deleting the chat thread, or setting a boundary about conversations you're no willing to have by telling people, I'm not talking about that anymore. Because the question isn't, am I over it? The question is, am I protecting the version of me who's ready to be? The question I get so often from my clients is, how do I know I'm over it? When you can talk about it without hurting or cutting yourself open again, that's a really great indicator, because the question isn't really, am I over it? The real question is, am I living in a way that honors my healing? Am I willing to protect my peace like it's priceless? You no longer have to be an emotional cutter or a glutton for punishment, honey. So check in with yourself. Can I talk about this without feeling like I've dropped back at the starting line of my pain? Or have I arrived at a place where the lessons no longer feel like lashings, but like wisdom I can carry without wounding myself again? The answer will tell you exactly where you are in your healing and what you still need to protect. Okay, friend, you didn't go through the hard, brave, gut wrenching, emotional labor of forgiving. I'm talking the tears, the nights replaying the scenes, the conversations with yourself in the shower, just to let the same energy come waltzing back in through an unlocked door like it never happened. Your peace is not an afterthought. It's not something you protect when it's convenient. It's the whole reason you let go in the first place. We have officially entered the protect your peace era, and no one preaches this quite like Trent Shelton, okay? He says it plain and simple. If something cost you your peace, it's too expensive. And he's right. Protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's survival. It's the difference between thriving in your next chapter and being pulled back into the chaos of your last one. Protecting your peace at all cost means saying no without explaining yourself, letting some calls go unanswered, choosing silence over defending your position to someone who's already decided who they think you are, or walking away from conversations, places, and yes, even relationships that feel like they drain you more than they develop you. Here's what happens when you don't protect your peace: you have peace leaks. One small compromise turns into an open door. One, I'll just let this slide, becomes a flood of old energy that drags you right on back into what you fought so hard to leave. Your peace is your responsibility. It's your job to guard it, not anyone else's. And when you start protecting it like your life depends on it, you realize it actually does. From here forward, your peace is your measuring stick. Every choice, every conversation, every yes, and every no gets weighed against one question: does this protect my peace? If the answer is no, it's a no. No guilt, no explaining, no debate, no justifying, no exceptions. You can't pour into your life, your love, or your legacy without guarding the very thing that keeps you whole and complete. Because in this protect your peace era, you are not choosing comfort for others over care for yourself. You are choosing to be the guardian of your energy, the protector of your joy, and the gatekeeper to your own freedom. Your peace is your responsibility, and protecting it is not one declaration at a time. Because even when you've drawn the boundary, even when you've shut the door, life will still test you. If you know, then you know. There will be moments when old wounds whisper your name, when familiar chaos tries to pull you back, when you feel that tug to re engage with something or someone you already released. That's when you need something simple, powerful, and repeatable, a way to ground yourself back into your choice and anchor into the freedom you've worked so hard to create. And that's where my self love two step comes in. It's my go to reset when I feel the urge to step back into old energy I've outgrown. And it works because it's fast enough to do any time of day, but strong enough to shift you right back into alignment. Friend, you know there's more for you, more confidence, more clarity, more alignment. But somewhere along the way, you stopped asking yourself what you really want. And it's time to reconnect, to remember who you are before the doubt, the pressure, and the perfectionism took over. The main character energy journal prompts are your daily invitation to step back into your power, to get honest, to dream boldly, to see yourself again. This is where the identity shift actually begins. Not just with words, but with truth, with self-awareness, with you. Start your journaling journey today and write your way back to the most magnetic, aligned, and unstoppable version of yourself. You are not just chasing your next era, you are being her. Grab the main character energy journal prompts now in the link in the show notes, okay? So when you find yourself, you feel that tug, the temptation to re-engage with old energy, honey, reopen a wound or step back into something you've already outgrown. Do this instead. Step 1, pause and breathe. Stop whatever you're doing. Close your eyes. Inhale deep through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. Repeat this 3 times. This tells your nervous system, we are safe, we are here, we are not going back. And then step 2, say this out loud. Yes, I really mean it. Say this out loud. This is your affirmation for freedom. I choose my peace over my past. I am free. Really feel those words, own them, let them wrap around you like armor. Realize I honor my growth and I'm not going back. Do this every time you feel yourself slipping into old patterns and watch how peace becomes your default, not just your fight. Freedom isn't just a one time decision. It's a way of living. Now, let me pour into you real quick. Friend, hear me when I say, you've worked too hard to hand your peace back to what broke you. You've bled through this healing. You've sacrificed for this freedom. You've done the work most people avoid because listen, it's not easy, but you did it anyway. You are not what happened to you. You are not the choices you regret. You are not the villain in someone else's story or the victim in your own. The woman you are now is not the woman who tolerated that pain. She's not the woman who went back just to feel seen. She's not the woman who traded her voice for a little bit of closeness. You are the woman who chose herself, the woman who put down what was crushing her, the woman who didn't just forgive, she freed herself. And every single time you choose peace over the past, you are proving to yourself that you ain't going back because you've already decided to move forward. So now you get to protect your peace like it's holy because it is. It's your sacred ground, and not everyone gets access to it. You are the guardian of your own joy, the gatekeeper of your own energy, and the protector of your own freedom. And you don't need permission to stand in that power. Yes, forgiveness opened the door. Freedom is you walking through it without looking back. This isn't just about letting go, it's about becoming the version of you who can finally breathe, finally smile, finally dream without the shadow of that old story hanging over her. And here's the best part: you are not just walking away from what hurt you, you are walking toward everything that was meant for you. So as you move through this week, I want you to remember your peace is the point, your freedom is the gift, and you, my dearest friend, are worth protecting at all cost. So protect your peace, guard it like a treasure, because when you do, you won't just be free from what happened. You'll be free for everything that's waiting for you. Next time, we are building on this foundation. So make sure you set your alarm so that you don't miss Thursday's episode, The Self-Worth Reset. Stop discounting yourself in love, life, and business. Okay? So you never settle, shrink, or undersell your value again. You've cleared the emotional slate. Now we rise. And just like that, queen, another layer of your glow up activated. But don't just listen, live it, because main character energy isn't just a vibe, it's a decision. And you just made it. Want to keep this energy going? If something in today's episode hit home, don't keep it to yourself. Fix another queen's crown. Share it, review it, or send it on with love. Whatever feels aligned. Your words, your stars, they help this message reach even more hearts and many more glow ups. When you share this show, you are not just spreading encouragement, you are reminding another woman she always had the power. We are rewriting stories, raising standards, and showing the world what empowered love really looks like. So remember, when you show up for you first, everything else aligns. Until next time, walk in your power, love out loud, and keep showing up like the main character you were born to be. Say it with me now. I am the main character of my life. I lead with love and I rise on purpose. All right now, friend, let's go. Your era isn't coming, it's arrived. And you already know how we do it around here. We don't settle, we shine. All because together we can encourage over everything.